Hi, this is Carolyn. They call me the New York 9/11 Canadian Angel, and I have different blogs, and I'm just hoping that today I can tell you a little bit more. I've been having a really hard time because my favorite cat, Littleboy, passed away. He had a heart attack. It's really kind of interesting that he uses the toilet, and he had a big bowel movement, and he just died. And I thought that I went through the web, and I'm having a hard time with my feelings. I feel like crying as I'm talking on this, and even though I have the girl cat, Grandma, she's 22 years old, and see, this is Grandma. There's Grandma. And this is Growly, because she was my feral cat. He had a personality. He was more like a husband than a cat. And I'm feeling really sad. I did a lot of stuff on the web and posted stuff, but I thought it was interesting. Elvis Presley died. A lot of famous people have died on the toilet. In fact, I thought it was interesting. Statistically, 15% of the population die on the toilet, and they say because of heart attacks, and he had a very big bowel movement, and apparently when people have big bowel movements and push too hard, they can have heart attacks. That's interesting. But at the same time, I can't believe he's dead. He died right beside the toilet. He did his duty, and he passed. And but I shouldn't be surprised, because he was half ragdoll, and his dad was Tyrone Powers, which I wrote a book about, who was also Mr. Personality, who was more than a cat. If there's anybody out there like me who does pet therapy and works with animals, I love my animals. And the thing is that I still have the dream of going west and starting healing centers. Right now I'm doing a whole bunch of blogs of looking for a matchmaker. And it would be kind of nice to find somebody who's in program, who's done their spirituality, and who's on a healing game. So today it was really interesting how our meditation today from Hazelton was about, it says when you're feeling unloved and depressed, I don't know if you've ever had that feeling, and empty inside, finding someone to give us love is not really the solution. I think we've already, if only I could find someone to love, somebody who could love me just the way I am. The problem I discovered in my journey, until I learned to love myself, I can't really give anything back to anybody else. It's kind of like two halves trying to make a whole, and you still got two halves. And that's interesting. Angel's kind of jealous. Every time I start talking, I have a border collie, and she's kind of jealous. Hey, Angel, do you want to say hi? Come here, come here. Come on, if you want to be part of the conversation, come here. You want to come up and say hi? Come on, you want to come up and say hi? Here, up, over. Come on, no, stay over here. Oh, you're going to put down. So anyway, come on, up. No, not that way. You're going to push down my computer. Okay, here, over, up. Come here, up. Okay, she's not allowed up. So anyway, it says here, each of us wants to be significant to someone else. Well, that's true. Everybody wants to feel loved. I'm 68 years old. I'll be 69 in March. I was born on my dad's birthday, my grandfather's birthday, and my great-grandfather's birthday, according to my dad. But then I discovered I was born in my grandfather was actually born on the same day as my ex-fiance, which I thought was a day later. And I'm also discovering I was born on George McRae's birthday, the singer that was in Oklahoma. So it's kind of interesting. March seems to be very popular for a lot of famous people. Elizabeth Taylor. When I went into the web, I couldn't believe how many famous people. According to the astrology, you're supposed to be all the combinations of all the zodiacs, and you're supposed to be very spiritual. And our saying is, I believe. So it says here, it goes on, and we are significant to all the lives that we're touching at this very moment. So what it's saying is, each one of us give people in our lives love, whether we believe it or not. Sometimes it's negative love, but it is like with my parents. I don't know if it was like yours. My parents' way of saying I love you is saying you didn't do that right, or you're not good enough, and all this stuff. My dad said I wasn't pretty, and my family said pretty is vain, according to my grandmother, because they were Jehovah's Witnesses. So therefore, I never got a compliment. The only thing is, I did hear him tell, somebody told me that my dad bragged about me. So, but he never did to me. So I don't know if you've had that history. It says the emptiness, the emptiness we sometimes feel is as good as a good reminder that the men and the women in our lives need our attention. So what it's saying here is that I'm dyslexic, so my reading isn't that good. Actually, I'm doing much better. I have a degree, and fourth year I could read to myself. I thought it was interesting that Steinberg has the same problem. He says it takes him an hour and a half to read a page. I thought that, wow, I'm not that bad. So anyway, Spielberg, is it Spielberg? Yeah, the producer. And it says they need attention. So it says too much focus fosters our feelings of loneliness. Well, the thing is that when we do focus on our loneliness and our problems and all about us and not about what happens, it just makes us lonelier. And it says here, then with desperation, we look for others to fill us up. So that's like an addiction. Like you never get, if you know somebody who is an alcoholic or is a sex addict or a shopaholic, enough is never enough. And we do that with people too, if we haven't learned to love ourselves, because addiction has nothing to do with addiction. It has anything to do with lack of self. It says the paradox is that we heal ourselves by offering our attention to another who is also by design, who is by design on our path. So we have to understand that God allows, or I believe that, I don't know if I believe in fate, but I'm quite close to it. It's my Green Valley, when I went to school, was talking about how fate and how things can happen. I don't know if we choose our journey, but I really do know that sometimes I believe everything happens for a reason. They gave us this checklist when I was in counseling about all these things that happened to me. I could have checked that checklist stuff 4 times. I've been through 4 fires. I've been married more than once, but my marriage just didn't last very long, because the minute they hit me, the shortest was 3 months. And the Jehovah's Witness made me marry a man who raped me, and then he turned out he was a paranoid schizophrenic, and so he followed me into the police station, and they quickly arrested him because he had threatened. He had been ramming my car with my girlfriend and her baby in it. So the thing is, what I'm discovering is religion and God is God. They're 2 different things. It's like, my dog is closer to God. Aren't you, Angel? Yes. Than some religious people I'm finding, because she at least loves me unconditionally. Mind you, she gets very jealous. She killed 2 of my cats once. It says, it is not by chance that our lives are intertwined, loving someone today, and will heal 2 wounds, ours and theirs. So the thing is that when you do love somebody, we all come in with wounds. We're all broken people. My ex-fiance, I love Jewish men, and when I lived in Montreal, I was almost engaged to Alan Margulies, who's now a rabbi. And when I was talking to Alan one day, I asked him, what is sin? Because the religious leaders seem to put a lot of focus, and we're all sinners. And I asked him what it is in Hebrew, and he just said, not meeting the mark. Well, none of us meet the mark. And we go through life